How did you become the master of mysteries and the paranormal?
Well, actually, I come from a long line of psychics, really. My mother were a very famous medium in the Black Country, and my father's a medium also. So it's in my family, really. I was always interested in the paranormal.
You've decided to write a book about your experiences as ghosts. Who researched that for you, Philip?
I researched it all myself. I'm interested in all areas of the psychic world, but particularly ghosts. That's something that's always fascinated me, and I believe that we've got a lot of ghosts in the Midlands.
Are there ghosts? Let's be honest, Philip. Are there ghosts?
Of course there are ghosts. There are ghosts all over Birmingham. You're in one of the most famous haunted houses in England today, Aston Hall, Birmingham. Now this is a very interesting place in this building because this is where the ghost of Mrs. Walker has been seen by lots and lots of people, believe it or not, including my own mother many, many years ago. Mrs. Walker is a little tiny lady about 5 foot tall, all dressed in green, who wears a little hat, who is often seen exactly there. Now it may not be the same chair today, but that is where she is always seen. So when people come through those doors just over there and walk through this room, this is where you will see the ghost of Mrs. Walker.
Now, Mrs. Walker was the housekeeper. Why should she sit there?
Well, I would think that she thinks she's quite important, and I'm sure that Mrs. Walker is, so she has the throne, so to speak. This, allegedly, is where May, the daughter of Thomas Holt, was locked up and kept for many years, not allowed to have a relationship with the young man that she loved, or indeed marry. May, in my opinion, is probably the second most important ghost in this building. There is just one thing that I would say to you though. The guidebook that goes with this building, which is many, many years old, says that she was actually locked up here, as I've said. But I would say that that's not right. As a medium, in my opinion, this is actually leading to the area where May was really kept. That's my feeling on this particular house. This is where I feel it. This is where I certainly feel it. I feel that May was kept up here. Now this is a very interesting room that we're in now, Ashley. I can hear footsteps now. I thought I heard footsteps now. I've also heard story of that rocking horse over there being known to rock on its own. Now I've never seen it, but I've heard stories of it. People also tell me their children are seen up here. And that's not so surprising in a nursery, is it, really? Perhaps not so much May, though May has been seen up here. But children, I'm told, are often seen up there. And that's not at all surprising in a nursery, is it? Footsteps again. Now, this is an area that you hear lots of footsteps and lots of doors talking about. People have heard footsteps, loud voices, like the sound of soldiers arguing and things like that, and you're in an area where it happens. Ashley, can't you feel a cold shiver down your back? This is what we call a cold spot. Now, I can't prove this, but I have a feeling that someone actually committed suicide here by hanging themselves. I feel that there was a gentleman here who was probably in trouble for stealing or something. The way things happened many, many years ago, and rather than be punished and bring shame upon his family, I feel that he hung himself. And we have a cold spot here. Surely you can feel that cold shiver down your back. You need a good torch. You need a good torch, and preferably a rechargeable one like that, and a powerful one. Something like that's going to be much more powerful than an ordinary battery torch. The sticky back tape, which I've said that you can use, you know, and used to stick on doors. Tape recorder, obviously, little simple portable one, nothing too spectacular, nice and easy functions, nice to use. Thermometers, now thermometers are very important. If you're going to look at sort of cold spots, you need a couple of simple thermometers. A lot of the guys use electronic thermometers today, which is have a sort of probe on them that you can put into an area and immediately gives a reading of a cold spot. As a medium, I don't bother too much about that because, you know, I would know if there's something there already. But you need thermometers. Camera, obviously you've got to have a camera, but again I use a very simple one. Something like that with a, you know, an auto lock on it, and a big flash is always useful, you know, but it's very easy and simple to use. And obviously I've got a lot of technical cameras, but that's the sort of thing that if you see a ghost, what you want to do is point and get a picture of it. That's what you want to do. Cotton, obviously, again, sort of tying up doors alongside the sticky back tape. You need a thing like a ruler. Chalk. Chalk is quite important. You know, if you see a chair or a table leg, something like that, you can chalk around it, and if allegedly it moves, you know, if you've got it chalk each leg where it moves to, you'll see that it's moved. Talcum powder, now a lot of people say talcum powder, what would you use that for? But that's quite useful, that is really. It's one of the best tools that a ghost hunter can have in his possession is a simple thing like that, a magnifying glass. If you're going to look for fingerprints or footprints, did a haunted pub once that they said they had a lot of footprints about, you know, and you need a magnifying glass to go and sort of have a look at it, you know. But if you put a bit of talcum powder on an highly polished table or chair and you blow it, that will show the handprint or the fingerprints much more clearly, almost like a forensic detective rather than a ghost hunter there, but it works. One of the obvious things that always gets forgot, you know, and I know it sounds really, really obvious, but is your notepad and a pen and pencil. Whatever you say, the minute that you've seen it or experienced, you want to get that pad open, you want to get it wrote down there exactly what you've seen, the time, the date and any witnesses, and then honestly write exactly what you've experienced. And that's basically the kit that I always use. I mean, there are lots and lots of other things that people use, as I've said, electronic thermometers. You've even got things now to measure, you know, electromagnetic fields and things like that, you know, night scopes and things that image sensing cameras. Obviously a video camera, which I've not got in shot at the moment, but obviously I use a video camera. Again, a very simple one. If you're going to take a video camera on a ghost hunt, use a very simple one. You don't want one with lots of adjustments. You want one that's very, very easy to use and something that works well in the dark as well.
And what would your advice be, Philip, to anyone that thinks they may have a ghost or indeed have seen one?
I mean, if you're nervous by ghosts, I would always say leave them alone and have nothing to do with it. That's the simple answer. If at any time you're ever scared, then hand it over to people in the clergy who have expertise, or perhaps the spiritualist church and things like that, you know. But I've never come across a ghost ever hurting anyone in my experience, not really.